Well, it's a brand new week, and half the month is already gone. Today's March the 22nd. And who we have? We have the Mamba lady. The who lady? The Mamba. Remember Mamba? What does Mamba stand for? M-A-M-B-A. What does it stand for? 2 weeks ago we had it. What does anybody remember what it stands for? Pastor Thomas, good morning. M is for what? Mastery. What's A for? Ambition. What is M for? Mentally. What was the B for? Belief. What was the A for? Appreciation. There you go. And how many rings do you have? Whew, that was powerful. Well, here she is back today. I can't wait to hear what Thus Say 3.0. Without further ado, for the Fresno area, did a great testimony on our team, a call on right after the international. None other than regional director, the great, the one and only Miss Natasha Ismail.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. How are you?
Good morning, dear. You look great and ready to go.
Thank you. I was so ready. I couldn't sleep yesterday. And we know that always happens on a Sunday night if I'm speaking on a Monday. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for giving me this opportunity again to speak today. Guys, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate Mr. Thomas, and I know that we all do. But my topic for today is the importance of vision. So I want everybody to write that down if you're taking notes, which you should be taking notes, but if you're driving, don't worry about it, get the recording, right? I see Akiko, she's like, here are my notes. So understanding the importance of vision, I want to take a second to look at Mr. Thomas, okay? Now, not like look at him right now, just look at Mr. Thomas, okay? So I see people looking on the screen. Now, understand how important vision is, okay? If Mr. Thomas would not have had a vision, he would not have become the leader he is today, taking everybody where he's going. He wouldn't have a path for his life without a vision, period. Now, it didn't have to be here. It could have been anywhere. It could have been just in life. So when you look at successful people, what's one thing that you see that everybody has in common? They know where they're going. And how did they know where they're going is because they have vision. So one thing about Mr. Thomas that I admire so much is he has vision. He knows where he's going. If anybody tells him otherwise, if anybody says anything, he's like, no, I know where it's going. You know why? Because all of his choices are in alignment with his vision. Everything he does is in alignment. And I just look at him and I admire him so much for it because okay, I know a lot of you haven't met Mr. Thomas in person, but some of you have. And for those of you that have, you know, just being in his presence, he has this aura about him that is just so strong and so confident and so loving. And it's like, he's just so powerful. And I'm never going to forget. So we did a commercial here for Fresno. So we went to a TV station and Mr. Thomas is going to remember this. So we went to a TV station and as soon as we go in there, because they didn't know Mr. Thomas, like they were like, okay, who is this person? Because I had already edified him, talked about him, but they didn't know who he was. So when we went there to the TV station, after the guy shook my hand and was like, hey, hi, nice to meet you, right? He looks at Mr. Thomas and he says, I know this is somebody very special. I know this is somebody very powerful because he's like, I can just tell that you're so powerful. Just by being in his presence, like you feel it. And I know those of you that know, you guys know what I'm talking about. So understand, to become a leader like that, it does take time and wisdom, but it takes a vision. So I want to thank Mr. Thomas for holding on to his vision and not letting anybody else tell him that that's not what he's supposed to do. Because of him, we're all here. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. Now, the importance of vision. We always talk about it. We always say, you got to have a vision. You got to do something. You got to have to want to do something. What do you want to do? What's your vision? What's your vision? What's your vision? Oh, you have to go to the events. You'll see the vision of the company. that this past weekend, we saw the vision of the company. But what's your vision? What's your vision? And why is it so important? So I want to explain to everyone the importance of vision. And now, where this came from is from one of Mr. Thomas's mentors, Mr. Miles Monroe. And whoever knows who Miles Monroe is, he was a phenomenal minister and amazing motivational and inspirational speaker. And we know that Mr. Thomas looked up to him so much that when he went to the Bahamas on the free RVP and SVP trip, as soon as he landed, he got a car and he went to go see Mr. Miles Monroe's house, which was on 4 boulders. Small little house where his whole family used to sleep. And just being there meant so much to Mr. Thomas. So when I listened to that, I said, I really need to look into who Miles Monroe is. Because look, you can look at your mentors, but you need to know who your mentors' mentors are. You need to know, okay, there's an Al Thomas, great. Who was his mentor? He's in books, he's in magazines, he's in all these things, but do we know how he got there? He tells us he was mentored by 3 billionaires. 1 is a lucky thing, 3 is a God thing. He always says that. But how many of us remember the names of those 3? How many of us know who they are? How many of us know who poured into his life? So I studied, or I'm starting to study, Dr. Miles Monroe. So everybody can write that down, because this material, everything I'm covering, are my notes from what I learned from him on the importance of vision. So we always ask ourselves why. Why is it important? And in one simple statement, he summarized everything. Vision determines your life. 4 words. Vision determines your life. Now I'm going to explain why. The first thing vision does is vision determines your actions. Vision determines your actions. If I know where I want to go in this company, if I know what I want to do in it, if somebody tries to show me something else, am I going over there? No. If somebody tells me, hey, you need to go get a real job, am I going? No, I mean, it doesn't fit my vision, right? So it doesn't fit the actions. Now, the next thing vision does is vision determines your habits. Because we know small actions and small choices that are taken over and over and over again, 21 days creates a habit. So your vision determines your habits. Do you wake up early? Mr. Thomas, right? When he told us his schedule, do we wake up early? Do we go on a walk? Do we take care of our body? Do we know what we're feeding ourselves, not just physically, but mentally? What are we listening to? What are you feeding yourself? What are your habits? What are the little things that you do when somebody rejects you, when somebody says no to you? What's your reaction? Is your habit to pop off on them, or is your habit to say, okay, that's fine, no worries. Is it okay if I contact you again in 30 to 60 days? Do you leave the door open, or is your habit to close the door? The next thing, your vision determines your attitude. Your vision determines your attitude. Everybody take a quick second. Have you ever realized we have a RVP Platinum on this call, and we have a Senior Vice President on this call? Do they act like, and this is in no means derogatory at all, so nobody take it that way. Do they act like a CQ? No. Do they act like an executive team leader? No. And I mean this in all aspects. Do they act like a regional director? No. That's why when people say that you need to become the person, or you need to become success, not just look at success. How do we do that? Is by copying what they do. You copy what successful people do, right? Rob and duplicate. That's what Cody Mackey said over the weekend. Now, what do they do that differentiates from everybody else? The way, I will never forget the first time that I met Mrs. Jocelyn Driscoll. Okay. When this woman walked through the door, I looked at her in her custom suit and I was like, I need to know her. Who is that? Her posture and her grace that she walked with, and just her confidence when she walks into a room, she knows exactly who she is and she knows exactly where she's going. For the same, Mr. Thomas, when he walks into a room, the first time I met him was at a Starbucks in Las Vegas. He was in shorts and flip-flops, but he was in a Tommy Bahama shirt that was light pink. But when he walked through the door, you knew that he was not average. It determines your attitude. Your vision determines your attitude. Next, your vision determines your values. Your values. Do you know what your values are? Your behaviors, your standards. There's certain things that Mr. Thomas, you will never catch Mr. Thomas doing ever. Ever. Because he knows his values, because he knows his vision. Do you know your values? What are some things that you will never do? And what are some things that you will always do, like always giving back, always being humble, helping people? What are your values? Now, the next thing, super, super important. When he said it, I kind of was like, whoa, because we teach on this, okay? Your vision determines your friendships. Your vision determines your friendships. Now, let me explain that. He said a friend is closer than a brother. Okay? And those of you that know, you know where he got that from. Your friend is closer than your brother. Now, everybody think back to elementary school, middle school, high school, whatever. Think back to a time when you had your friends and you totally wanted to impress your friends. Got it? How many times did we not listen to our mother, father, or whoever was taking care of us? How many times did we ignore them because we were like, but all my friends are doing it. All my friends are doing it. What do you do? Why are you trying to hold me back? All my friends are going. I want to go. How many times have we done that? You guys remember that? Now, being older, how many of you realized they were totally right? How many of you realize they were so right? And you know that saying that your parents know your friends before you do? 100%. 100%. Because the people they told me not to hang around are no longer in my life. Your vision determines your friendships. And a friend is somebody that stimulates that vision. A friend is somebody that's going to push you in your vision, somebody that's going to encourage you, somebody that's going to empower you, somebody that's going to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, to keep going to wherever you're headed. A friend isn't someone that's not doing nothing and wants you to stay there with them. Because he said there's a lot of people doing nothing. And he said in the Bahamas that there's people 40 years later sitting under the same tree, playing the same domino game with the same dominoes. And he said, you guys have people like that in your life too. There's probably people that are still sitting on their porch 20 years later, sitting in the same rocking chair, looking out at the same neighborhood, looking at the same people. They're not going anywhere. What friends are you keeping? What company are you keeping? Who do you keep around you? Everybody who remembers Mr. Byron Nelson's SVP promotion, just raise your hand for me real quick. Who remembers that? Okay, cool, because you can't forget it once you see it. But he said, everybody is pregnant. And when he said that, my face, I was like, where is he going with this? What is he talking about? Said, everybody is pregnant with a dream. Everybody has a dream. And what Miles Monroe said then, and that I pieced together, is he said a lot of the friends that people keep around them are experts in abortion. They are experts in abortion because they know how to help you kill your dream. Who are you keeping around you? Are people feeding into you? Are they giving into your vision, or are they trying to talk you out of it? because people that are doing nothing love company and they want you to do nothing with them. And when you try to leave, they get offended. And if you want to read a book on that, The Dream Giver is an amazing book that Mr. King told me about. And it will just change your mindset when you read that. Now, the next thing is vision is the next best thing to time travel. And when he said that, I started laughing. Vision is the next best thing to time travel. Think about it, because you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere in your mind. You have no limits. And he said, you live kind of airy. You live kind of like, out of it most of the time, because you know that even though you're present now, this isn't your end result, that you're going somewhere else. Now, you get to expect more of the world that you see currently. You get to expect more of the world right now than you see. I hope somebody's taking notes. Somebody's getting this. I know somebody is. Okay. Vision means having faith. Vision means having faith. And we know Mr. Williams is amazing at speaking on this topic. Do you have faith? Do you have faith? Because vision means you have faith. Next, vision is a venture with risk-taking courage. Isn't that entrepreneurship too? Vision is a venture with risk-taking courage. You dare to hope for something beyond yourself. How many of us, when we first started this business, were like, I'm going to get in this business, I'm going to make a ton of money, and I don't know about anybody else. Right? We were just thinking about ourselves. Say, I'm going to be debt-free. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I, me. The furthest extent was probably our family. We weren't thinking about anybody else because we're trying to survive ourselves. Now, being in the business for longer, more than 90 days, more than 6 months, you start to realize that this is so much bigger than just us. It's so much bigger than just yourself. There's so many people out there that we can impact. There's so many people out there that are looking for something, and we've been given this gift to go out and give to them. But if we never give it to them, they can never find it. When we take this business to someone, it's a gift. Now, during Christmas, think about it for a second. When you give somebody a gift, are you thinking, oh my God, they're going to love this gift, they're totally going to love it? Or are you thinking, okay, if they hate it, I'm going to give them a gift receipt, they might return it, they can get the money back, they can switch it, do whatever. No, you're getting it from the heart. A gift is from the heart. You're saying, look, I'm going to give this thing to this person because I know that they're going to love it. Now, whether they keep it or whether they return it is up to them. It's not up to us. It's not up to us. But if you know the gift that you have is worth giving and that people are going to love it, they're going to be okay with it. They say thank you, or they say, I don't like it. That's what happens in the business. It's like giving away Christmas presents all the time. You don't know who's going to like what you have to give. Our job is just to give. That's it. Now, the next thing, he said, it makes you believe in a better world. Vision makes you believe in a better world, and you have unlimited sight. Unlimited. You can imagine anything that you want. He said, vision inspires passion. Vision inspires passion. When you hear Mr. Thomas, do you hear passion? Yes or yes? Yeah. When you listen to a regional vice president or a senior vice president, when you listen to the co-founders, do you hear passion? When Greg Provenzano speaks, something just happens to me. I freeze. I don't even know. My ears work, my brain works, my heart works, nothing else works. I just focus. Miss Belinda Batista. You just focus, right? He speaks with passion and conviction. Next, he said, vision is the source of discipline. Vision is the source of discipline. Now, think about Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis, okay? If I tell him, hey, let's go get some chocolate cake, I'm totally gonna eat it. Do you think he's gonna touch it? No, he ain't gonna touch it. Okay, he said maybe. He said maybe. If it's my birthday, he'll eat it. Okay, but he's probably not gonna eat that chocolate cake because he is disciplined, because he knows his vision. I know one of his goals and I know his vision that he has physically. Chocolate cake does not fit that description. But how many of us, like me, would just eat the cake? Discipline. Vision causes discipline. Mr. Thomas, you're not gonna eat the cake. Okay, now, without vision, there's no hope. Without vision, there's no hope. We know that we're hope dealers. And Mrs. Driscoll loves to say this too, we're hope dealers. But if you don't have a vision, there's no hope to give. You have to have a vision for that. Now, this is one of my favorite lines. He said, the greatest leaders are present in the now, but focused in the future. The greatest leaders are present in the now, but focused in the future. How many times have we gone to a party or something like that, and then we find out later on that somebody passed away, and I say, you know, I never really got to know that person. You know, I don't really remember, you know, this and that. Because how many times did we realize that we were not present in the now because we were worrying about something else? Physically, you can be one place, but mentally, you're in a totally different place. If that place is your future and your vision, that's fine, but you have to be present in the now. Everything is now. You don't know if you have tomorrow. You don't know if you have next week. Don't put things off tomorrow that can be done today. Do it now. Do it now. Now, the last thing, think about how many of us do our own grocery shopping? Because I know some people like Mr. Clemens just get it ordered to the door and we're not there yet. So, okay, he's gonna get me for that later. All right, so how many of us make a grocery list before we go get groceries? Okay, cool. Like half of the people that do their own grocery shopping. Okay, cool. Now, why do you make a grocery list? Put it in the chat. Why do you make a grocery list? Why do we make a grocery list? It's a simple question. Why do we make a grocery list? Why? So you don't forget. Okay, so you don't forget what you need. Okay, so you don't forget anything. To be organized and get what I need. Okay, to keep the house stocked. Got it. What else? What else? To guide you. Okay, focus on what you need to remember. Okay. So you don't pick up anything unnecessary. So you don't forget what you went for. So you stay focused on what you came for. Perfect. We make grocery lists to go get groceries. So we don't forget. Mr. Clemens, you're kind of killing it for me. So we don't forget what we need. So we know that we have a guide. We know what aisles to avoid. We know what we need. We know what fits our vision. We don't get groceries based on what the neighbors are saying they're going to eat for dinner. You don't go ask your neighbors, hey, what are you guys doing this week so I could go get groceries? No, you make your own grocery list for your own house based on your own needs and your own vision. Exactly. You don't want to spend too much time shopping and looking around either. So let me ask you this. If we make a list to get groceries so that we can save time, avoid places we don't need to go, get exactly what we need, get things that fit our vision, and stay focused, do we have a grocery list for our life? Mr. Thomas is like the only one that nodded yes. Now you can see why he's a senior vice president, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have a grocery list for our life? If we do that much work to go get groceries in order to avoid the wrong aisles, in order to get exactly what we need, stay focused, not spend too much time looking around, why don't we have that for our life? Because look, let me tell you something. When you have a vision, you know what aisles to avoid. When you have a vision, you know what to stay focused on. When you have a vision, you know exactly where to go because you know what you want. You know not to spend too much time shopping around in the home decor section when you went for milk and eggs. Guilty, okay? You know what you went there for. Do you have a grocery list for your life? Because your vision determines your life. And without vision, you don't have a life. A lot of people are just existing and not living. A lot of people are just aimlessly walking through life without any direction. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. Some people woke up today on Monday morning. They don't know what they're doing today. They're just, oh, I'm a go with the flow type of person. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Because boats that go with the flow usually get lost at sea. But if you know where you're going, if you have a vision, then you have purpose, then you have direction. You have everything else that you need. Everything else falls into place. But if you don't have a grocery list, if you don't have a vision, so stop existing and start living. I hope next time I remember to cover how to write a vision because I'm setting that too. But the last thing that he said that I want to tell everyone is just know that a true vision will be tested. A true vision will be tested because the universe wants to see if you really want it. Because if you give up the first time that something happens, that you're derailed or somebody says, hey, come over here, come do this. Hey, go get a job. Hey, that's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. If you listen to people that say that and you give up, you never really wanted it in the first place. So just remember, a vision determines your life. And with that, Mr. Thomas, I'm going to pass it back to you.